All right, what's going on, family? Check it out. All right, that's my creation. All right, yeah, shirt I made. Well, the concept was my concept. I had a sister make this shirt for me. Um, you won't want to let me know, right? All right, and maybe I need to do one for the sisters too. So yeah, that's what's up. Um, so this was not the planned video that I had for tonight. I'll be doing that one tomorrow, if time permits. But listen, these people on YouTube, not the people in the comment section, although they can be too. Man, these people with these YouTube channels who have these large followings, they're literally, a lot of them, informants and plants. Real talk, you know. Um, and they try to stifle the people who are for the truth, who owe allegiance to no one but the good Lord and themselves and the truth. Way before young Pharaoh and young Pharaoh and Seti teamed up, and I just want to touch on this, right? I was the first one over there on that platform on Saneter TV, right? To say, now I was on the platform, so I'm not, I don't want you to misconstrue what I'm saying, right? But way before them, right, maybe like a year or so out before there was such things as young Pharaoh, right, and the debacle with the debate, it was Saneter, it was the dude from, the brother from the Amaran Squad, the biologist, Sinjetti, and it was Brother Reggie or Dr. Reggie, right? And I came on, I called in, and so I took up the conversation that the metadata had not been fully translated or transcribed. And before we can really get into the gist of it regarding like Rosetta Stone and some other things, Saneter hung up on me and went in on me, right? And so Jedi, he was always kind of laid back, and he kind of just like, well, brother, these newer forms of belief systems and stuff like that try to come get something that's older and more mature, than its own creation, and yada yada yada, right? And I'm gonna answer that, probably 4 years later, right? Now, the rotary phone, right, was one of the first or oldest phones in my time of being, right? And before the rotary phone, right, they had the connection where we had to tap on it and get an operator connected to someone, right? That's the oldest form of phone. That does not mean that it's the best form of phone. Because we have cell phones now, which became smartphones where you can do everything in the palm of your hand. So just because the rotary phone, the push button phone, and the phone you had to tap on it and get an operator connected to someone were the first phones, don't mean that they were the best phone. Now there are archetype for, what we have today. So goes Kemet. Okay, so I just want to get that out of the way. I've tried to go up there by phone call several different times, whatever. He knows my number. He won't let me discuss anything on the panel. I'm going to bring the truth, just a simplistic understanding of what the truth is. Now, I am by means no fan of Sister Napah, just for informational purposes, right? Nothing personal or all the other, background supposed information to be put out on her over the internet, just for informational purposes, right? No fan of Sister Napah, but the disrespect of how Saneter talked to her on that platform was disgusting. For him to talk to a woman like that, or anyone like that, no one deserves that level of disrespect. Especially if they're not being disrespectful for you or coming back disrespectful. She maintained her composure. She maintained her sophistication in that interaction. And that's who y'all go to for y'all information? Really? Now, I'm not telling y'all to not watch the brother, but what I am saying to you is Y'all need to demand that he act better, that he conduct himself better, that he stop being so biased to his guests that are coming up there, and let the information speak for itself versus trying to lead the agenda. It was so disrespectful how he spoke to her. That's not what a man does. And she's a woman. She's going to, hey, even if you want her to be quiet, she's going to continue to talk because that's how women are. They can be combative at times. You know. But what the problem was is that Reggie, Jabari, Saneter are all supposed to be on the same program. And she broke program for truth. Here's my source, Jabari. You are a liar. Okay? And you are disingenuous during the discourse of that conversation. If you don't sit up there with a straight face with, I've been to Colombia and I've studied Kemet for 30 years, I've been there 20 times, and you know, you don't understand history like I do, and say that they didn't practice slavery in Kemet. My source is what I just said. All ancient civilizations practice slavery, regardless of what name you want to give it or call it. But I know they're trying to build the house of Maya or whatever it's called, and get people walking around wearing feathers and white garbs and all that thing, and all that extra stuff. I get it. You know, but whenever you have someone that's pushing an agenda that is disingenuous, you need to watch that person. You need to watch them. Because they're being disingenuous. We already know what Saneter stands at. He's whatever puts a dollar in his pocket, and because he's for Kemet, by Kemet, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that that's the only thing he's gonna represent and try to give the edge to, and dropping the bombs and making little comments and cut people mics off and going on this rant. You know, it's entertainment. But it's the wrong kind of entertainment. That should be, you know, there's nothing wrong with a little satire, little jabs, whatever, in the debating process. But how he does it and the way he talked to her was totally uncalled for, totally unmanly. You're not a pimp, bro. You're supposed to be conscious. You're supposed to be awoke. You're not a street gates dude any longer, supposedly. Check yourself. Because if I was on that panel, I would have checked him. If it led to an argument and back and forth, fine, so be it. But I would have checked him. And for Jabari to sit there and listen to that and not interject, like, hold on, Saneter. Because he's interjected on Saneter before, regarding how Saneter was carrying on. But he sat there quiet. Now, he has a wife, Anika. She seems to be very soft-spoken. You know, you don't hear a lot about her other than her, you know, presenting information. You know, he would not allow anyone to talk to his wife like that because that's his wife and she's a woman. Now, whatever comparison that you want to draw between her and Napah, it doesn't make a difference. In the context of that setting, she deserved the same respect as if it would have been Anika sitting on that panel. And Brother Reggie, come on, bro, me and you have had dialogue many times, especially like 3 to 4 years ago. I really was watching Saneter. I was presenting information to talk about things that I didn't necessarily agree with, things I did agree with a lot of the content. And then you and I will have a lot of chat of back and forth, you know, well, not a lot, but just a little bit in the comment section or whatever, you know, where we would speak to the title or the subject matter regarding whatever the discussion topic was, right? And, bro, you need a backbone, man. You can't be so in the middle, riding the fence, that it makes you look unmanly. And I'm not saying that you're that. Don't get me wrong, right? But the same level of disrespect that I've seen Saneter show in Napah, I've seen him, other people have shown to you. You know, you're pretty well read, you're pretty knowledgeable. I remember you have a degree in engineering. See what I'm saying? So you are a college graduate. So one thing that you do understand is, you know what I'm saying, the scientific method. because when going to college, whatever, at the end of you getting your bachelor's, you have to present a paper, like a dissertation, at the end of where everything that you learned to graduate. So I know you understand the method, because the method and the process is the same from undergrad to graduate to getting your doctorates. I've seen something that disrespectful you, shut you down, cut you off or whatever. And I thought, like, man, why you cut him off? He making some grand points, some great points. Why you shut him down? But I guess because he kicking you off a little change here and there, whatever, you accept that. And you've had a long-standing relationship with him. But that still doesn't entitle him to disrespect you, bro. Other people on that planet to disrespect you because, you may have a lisp, you may have a stutter or whatever. That does not disqualify you in the information that you're presenting. It's not as zazzy, as spectacular as Jabari with his little barbs and jabs and backhanded disrespectful comments to people, whatever the hell put out there, Yeah, man, you definitely should have stepped in too. Say, hold on, Saneter. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is not what we're supposed to be doing. How we supposed to be talking to women or each other. Come on, man. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to y'all viewers. Y'all should demand, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? We want to see your channel better than what it is. And I know this stuff is getting to him regarding who I am, right? He knows who I am. Because I used to talk with Brother Larry. And Brother Larry went on the Saneter TV. It may be down there. It was like a couple years ago. He made a video addressing me in slavery and slave records, and there were no black people here in the Americas, whatever, which we disagreed on. Because black people only mean a person of dark melanin, dark complexion, or whatever. And the fact that I wasn't allowed to respond or say, hey, let's have a conversation about it. So they know who I am. You know what I mean? But I'm not looking to make any kind of grounds or breakthrough with them, man. Because like I'm saying, Saneter TV is a joke. It is. Because he can't decide whether he's Saneter or Frankie Gary. He can't be both. You have to put away, set aside, lock away your old self to become the new you, the different you. That's the purpose of studying. That's the purpose of prayer. I'm a Muslim. See what I'm saying? And I understand Islam. I have knowledge about the Nation of Islam. I know about the 5% Nation, you know what I'm saying? Who's the original black man? The maker, the owner of the criminal planet Earth, father of civilization. And it says that the God of the universe, but Allah is God of the universe. That's the original man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm in no delusion about some of the things that were done under the name of Islam. Servitude or slavery being one of them. How black people were treated, during certain periods and times during Islam. I'm under no delusion about that. But I'm still a Muslim because I believe in Allah and I believe in the Quran and the message of the Prophet Muhammad. And Allah's peace and blessings be upon him. And whenever somebody comes to me and will say, well, if you agree with that and this and etc. and this and that, and you know how they treated your people, how can you be a Muslim? Because it's not about the individual. It's about what the book says. If the book condones racism, show me that. Because during the time of Prophet Muhammad, they weren't worried about going into Africa. They were fighting wars and having prisoners of wars, whatever, and those people were becoming their servants. They're slaves. That's how things were at that time. Slavery exists today. You going to work, you a slave. Because they try to play the game like with the English, like they say, hold on, slavery and servitude is the same doggone thing. Servitude and slavery is the same doggone thing. Because what the peasants doing in Europe, you know, if they did not like how the landlord, that's where the word landlord comes from Europe. See what I'm saying? With these noblemen, knights, and other noble figures, right, or nobility, right? That the peasants, the lower class people, the people not as equal, would work the lands. And then if they didn't like how they were treated, they would move to someplace else, leaving the land unkept until the next group came in to work it, right? So what they did, they passed a law saying that, hey, serfdom, that when you go in to work this land or this property, supposedly you were tied to the land for 7 years. Supposedly. So my first question to you is, right, if they're tied to the land for 7 years, right, their body that they own is being restricted from moving. That means what? You're a slave. Because someone is taking control over what you can and can't do, where you can and can't go. And the minute that someone restricts your freedom to move and do as you please, you are a slave. And physical violence can come with that. And who you going to go to during that period of time? Who you going to complain to? When you're dealing with a monarchy, an autocracy, who are you going to go to take up your plea during that time? If they were physically abusive to you during that time, if they want to keep you longer than 7 years, who could you go to? And if there was someone to go to, you're probably too scared for fear of reprisal or retaliation. Come on, man. We have slavery today. I was a manager for Walmart. I'm not talking like a floor manager. I was like mid-level management, right? You had like assistant, you had department manager, then you had backroom manager, front-end manager, a couple other different managers, right? Then you had assistant, co, and store, right? So I had a social come to me from another department that says that the guy was coming back there and throwing stuff and cussing them out and cussing at them. I said, well, what have you done about it? I haven't done anything. I said, why not? So I'm scared. So I took up the issue for him. What is that? They had a situation where what? There was an article in the paper about a guy working at a restaurant. I think it was Waffle House, I think. Maybe it was either Waffle House or Huddle House. This boy had been there for 5 years, and the man was making him work there beyond his shift, was verbally and physically abusive to him until someone eventually turned him in. You know, he got in trouble, fired, and all that stuff, man. But for 5 years, he done this to this person. There was a CBS article, 10 years ago, I guess, about diplomats here in the U.S. mistreating foreign workers like the maids and housekeepers and things of that nature in places that they were staying. What do you think these rich people do to their sister? Have you seen that movie, The Devil Wears Prada? And that's probably a sanitized version of what is going through, what they go through. Because we do have rules and laws and regulations in place to prevent things of that nature, but it still happens. And a rule and law is only effective if the people or person who is implementing it. But me and you all in the same club, and we have minimal concern about, something being done about it. And we ain't worried about that. Go ahead, do your thing. Do what you want to do. Yeah. Saneter was totally disrespectful to that sister. He ought to be ashamed of himself. And whenever you have man, please, I hope y'all watching this last little comment, whatever, or fast forward to this point. But whenever you have a man that does something shameful and disrespectful and repugnant, he doesn't offer up apology to the person who he's offended. And then to the people who have watched this platform and they're offended by it, that's a man you can't trust.